If you're ever working with equations and you come across square roots, the easiest thing to do is just to simplify it down as much as you can. Anything that's under the square root becomes a little bit difficult to work with unless you're coming across the exact same square root somewhere else and you can cancel or add and subtract. But once you pull numbers outside of the square root and you learn those rules, you'll start to see patterns that will greatly simplify things. So just the rule of thumb is we just want to break down everything that's under the square root as much as we can. So for example, 32 can be rewritten as 2 times 16. Well, 16 can be broken down again as 2 times 8. 8 can be broken down again as 2 times 4. And of course, 4 goes down again to 2 times 2. Well, now, since we got a square root, we can start pulling these out in pairs of 2. So in this case, we've got 2 sets of 2. And we've got 1 2 that's by itself. So that needs to stay underneath our square root. So our final answer here is going to be 4 times the square root of 2, which can be a little bit easier to work with than the square root of 32. Now, as you get good at this and you start seeing patterns, you will notice right away that, well, this is 2 times 16, but 16 is a perfect square. That's 4 times 4. So we can just pull out here and it just avoids a step. But if all else fails, just break it down to its simplest form and then start pulling things out in groups of 2. But you'll notice this still works out to 4 times the square root of 2. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. 18 is 2 times 9 and 9 is 3 times 3. So we have one pair here. So we're going to pull a 3 out, but we still need to leave this 2 inside the square root. With our x's, we have, this can be broken down as x squared times x squared. So we have a pair of x squares that can come out. And this y to the 5th, we can break that down. In fact, if you want to really simplify it, that's just y times y times y times y times y. And we can pull them out in groups of 2. So we have 2 of those. So we'll have a y squared, and we've got to leave one y in there. So our final answer then is 3x squared y squared times the square root of 2y. Now, we're going to do the same thing no matter what. In this case, we have a cubed root, and if we had a 4th root or a 5th root, we're going to do the exact same thing. We just have to pull things out in groups of whatever root this is. So in this case, 27 is 3 times 9. 9 is 3 times 3. Well, we got to pull them out in groups of 3, so there we have right there. That can come out if we want to rewrite this as a times a times a times a. We can pull 3 of them out here and we're left with a. We've got to keep one of those a's under the square root. Here we have b times b. Well, we don't have any groups of 3, so both of those need to stay in here. And our final answer will be 3a times the square root of ab squared. So just simplify it down as much as you can. You'll start noticing some patterns, some tricks to it. And so that gets easier. But as you get used to these, they really become fairly easy to work with once you start noticing the pattern. So if these videos are helpful to you, please like and subscribe. Pass this information on to any others that might want to use it. And thanks for watching.